eShop's closing? What the? Nintendo? What are you doing? Why are you taking away my childhood? Why are you giving scalpers more reasons to jack up the prices of the 3DS game that they're just hoarding? Why? What are you doing, Nintendo? So in case you've been living under a rock, the eShop is closing in March of 2023, next year. I can't believe it that we're already at a point where the Wii U and 3DS eShops are closing. I cannot believe it. Where does time go? But I mean, the 3DS is already over 10 years old, and Kid Icarus Uprising, the greatest game ever, just turned 10 years old the other day. So I mean, I guess here we are. The eShop is set to close in March of 2023, but it is ending credit card support in May of this year, which is really soon. So you gotta be buying your games as soon as possible. But I am here to help you so you don't miss out on some games that will soon be buried forever, locked behind the 3DS eShop's grave. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over a bunch of games that I bought on the eShop and a bunch more games that you should consider buying from the eShop. And just one little quick warning, before you go buying a bunch of games, make sure that your Nintendo 3DS system has enough storage. And if it doesn't, go and buy an extra SD card or micro SD card, depending on the version of 3DS you're using. And in case you need a reminder, you can only have your Nintendo ID on one 3DS console, meaning your funds aren't transferable between your different 3DSs. So make sure you choose your 3DS system wisely. But without further ado, let's jump into the games that I'm going to be talking about. So the first game I grabbed was when this was all still a rumor, before it was confirmed that the eShop was shutting down. I picked up Rhythm Heaven Megamix, which is a 3DS eShop exclusive in North America. However, it did get a physical release in Japan and Europe, so it wouldn't be the end of the world, but unless you're planning on playing the game in Japanese or British, you should get it on the eShop while you can. And if you don't know Rhythm Heaven, what are you doing? Rhythm Heaven's like one of the best rhythm games you'll ever play, and probably one of the best games ever. Megamix is a collection of all of Rhythm Heaven's best. The next game you should pick up is Warioware Snap. This is Warioware, but you take pictures, like actual pictures, using the camera on the 3DS. And some of you might already have it because it's a DSiWare game. That being said, it is a DSi game, so this might be one of the last chances that you'll ever be able to get this game. And if you're either a Nintendo collector or a WarioWare fan, you should jump on this chance now, especially for the really low price of just $5. And it's WarioWare. WarioWare is cool. As a Mother fan, I obviously have to mention Earthbound being on the 3DS. But it's only available on the new 3DS and new 2DS XL models, which just doesn't make much sense, but you know. But this is another way to play this amazing game and support one of the few official releases of Earthbound. And if you have a new 3DS, this might be a great game to pick up, and if you've never played Earthbound, you should definitely jump on this chance. But also be noted that Earthbound is now on the Switch Online. But if you're a Mother fan, I definitely think you should jump on this if you just want another way to have Earthbound for the rest of your life. You can't complain with more ways to play Earthbound. Sakura Samurai, Art of the Samurai, is another eShop exclusive, and the art style is reminiscent of Okami, or at least it reminded me of such. This is one of the ones I recently downloaded and I only played a bit of, but from what I did play, I really liked this game. It centers around you carefully dodging and parrying your opponent's attacks, and it's a really fun and interesting game, and it has a decent bit of challenge to it. Also, samurai are awesome. I shouldn't have to say more. Definitely check this game out for sure. Attack of the Friday Monsters: A Tokyo Tale is the next game you should pick up for sure, especially if you haven't already. I have yet to get a chance to play the game, but I did pick it up for this video. My good friend Rox heavily recommended this game and did a great job of selling it over in his Nintendo 3DS eShop video, where he talked about some of his pickups from the eShop, so definitely go check that out. When I looked at this game, the aesthetic and the vibe and the feeling that this game gave me immediately sold me. It looks awesome and it looks really charming, and I've heard only amazing things, so you should definitely check it out. Also, download the Save Data Transfer tool. It is incredibly useful, it's free, just get it. Just get it. Like, just get it. Seriously, like, I'm sure you have this, just get it. Just download the Save Data Transfer tool, that's it. Like, literally, I don't need to tell you more, just get it. Another one of the games I picked up was Crimson Shroud. This is also made by Level 5 Games, which also made Attack of the Friday Monsters: A Tokyo Tale. This game is a role-playing, tactical RPG with tabletop elements. You roll dice just like in Dungeons and Dragons, which determines whether or not your move goes through. I also haven't played much of this game, but from what I did, I thought it was really great. This is another one you should definitely check out, and Level 5 only makes great games on the 3DS apparently. So I've got some more rhythm games to recommend here. HarmoKnight. HarmoKnight is a rhythm-based 2D platform developed by Game Freak. You know, Pokemon? The company that makes Pokemon? This is another eShop exclusive with no physical release at all. I got this back when it first came out on the 3DS, and to be honest, I got it just because it had Pokemon music, but I ended up having a really amazing time with it. It's a really cool and charming game on the 3DS, and it's got great music, and it's definitely worth your time checking out. The other rhythm game I have here is Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure, which is a rhythm puzzle game. I have yet to get a chance to play the full game, but I was very aware of it when it first came out. I don't know too much about it, but from what I do know, this game is incredibly charming and looks like an amazing time. It was an early title on the 3DS and is now incredibly expensive. One of the most expensive and rare games on the 3DS. I wasn't planning on getting it digitally, but I've always wanted it, and now because of how rare and expensive it is, paying only $20 on the eShop was an easy way to go. The next one, or I guess two games, are big ones. Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies and Phoenix Wright Spirits of Justice. And of course you know Phoenix Wright, you know, like OBJECTION! And the amazing music it has. These two games are the 5th and 6th games respectively in the series, and are exclusive to the 3DS. Kind of. They're also available on mobile, but why would you play a game on mobile? And if you want these games on your 3DS and not on your phone, this will be your last chance. But due to the popularity of the franchise, I can definitely see these games being included in a collection way later on. So definitely consider checking them out on the 3DS. Gurumin 3D: A Monster's Tale is a very interesting game that I stumbled into. This game originally came out on Microsoft Windows exclusively in Japan. But then it came out on the PSP later to the rest of the world. And now it's on the 3DS. Gurumin is a critically acclaimed 3D action RPG with elements of platforming. This game caught my attention and looked really enjoyable. Also, it looked really great on the 3DS. And it's especially worthwhile with how insanely low its sale price is right now. But I do think it's ending soon. Kappa's Trail is a hidden gem of a DSiWare game that was developed by Brownie Brown, the studio that made Mother 3. The reason this game caught my attention was because it looked really charming, and you guide this cute little Kappa. But also because it is filled with references to Mother 3. It contains a pig mask, Ocho the octopus, and the merman oxygen robots. But not only that, there are also references to Magical Star Sign and Captain Rainbow. So maybe keep this one on your radar, especially if you're a Mother fan, and especially a fan of Mother 3. This also might be one of the last chances to ever get this game as well. Now, some things I'm just gonna mention really quickly. Make sure that you check any of the free updates or downloadable content for any of your games. After March of 2023, you will not be able to get any DLC for any of your games. Also, Zelda Picross is just a free game. If you're a Zelda fan, get that. There's also Pokemon Picross. Keep an eye out for any other free games on the 3DS. This one is an interesting one. I didn't want to go too much in because I don't really know too much about Fire Emblem, but Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. It's a completely entire third route that when the eShop closes will be lost forever. If you have a copy of Fire Emblem Fates, or if you're at all interested in Fire Emblem, definitely jump on this now, or an entire portion of a game will be lost forever because of the eShop. Another thing you should keep an eye out for is the Shin Megami Tensei games on the 3DS. So if you've been interested in the series, the 3DS is a great place to get a whole bunch of games. And I'm sure if you don't get them on the eShop, physical copies probably already do or will cost you a literal arm and a leg. A few more games to mention: Pushmo, Dillion's Rolling Western, Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move, Liberation Maiden, Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, and Chibi Robo Photo Finder. One more game that I do need to mention just really quickly is Kid Icarus Uprising. If you don't have this game, get it now. This is one of my all-time favorite games, and I think it's one of the best games Nintendo has ever put out. It is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in gaming. The characters, the story, it is all amazing, and the gameplay is really, really fun if you happen to find a comfortable way to play that game because of its wonky controls. I don't know if we'll ever see another Kid Icarus game, or even a port or a sequel. Whether we do or not, Kid Icarus Uprising is 100% worth your time. And if you can't get a copy of it physically, get it on the eShop now. And this obviously isn't every game that's available on the eShop, but these are just some of the ones that I was interested and I knew to mention. I recommend considering getting your hands on these games. Not all of them, but definitely check them out, especially if any of these interested you. This could be your last chance to get most of these games, or they'll become even harder to find in the future. It's really sad to see the eShop go, and there's so many amazing games to get. And if there's any physical games you're interested in, getting the digital variation of them is also an incredibly viable option. For any of the Pokemon games, Kirby, Zelda, Mario, you name it, definitely take a look at any 3DS game you're interested in, because this could be one of the last chances and last easy chances to get your hands on these games. If there's any games that you're interested in or recommend, definitely let people know in the comments below, not just for me, but for everyone. Share these games around and make sure that people don't miss out on amazing experiences on the 3DS eShop. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Linkachu, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Linkachu, out.